Now let's talk about a travel crisis that no one saw coming. The Heathrow Airport in London is closed today because it has no power. A fire knocked out the airport's main electricity supply as well as a backup system. Heathrow is not just another airport, it is Europe's biggest aviation hub. 80 airlines operate out of this airport, so the disruption has caused chaos worldwide. More than 1,000 flights have been hit. There have been mass cancellations. Many passengers around Europe are stranded. They're waiting to hear when they can get a flight. And airlines are scrambling to manage the chaos. Our next report has the details.
This is the fire that shut down the Heathrow and sparked chaos across the globe. The Heathrow is Europe's biggest airport and one of the busiest travel hubs in the world. It has now been paralyzed. This is Terminal 4 at the Heathrow Airport. Usually it's packed with passengers, but now security officials outside are turning them away. The car parks look deserted. Inside, the airport is in darkness, with people using the flashlights of their phones to navigate stairwells. It may be days before power is fully restored. But how exactly did this happen?
That's a biggie.
The cause of the blaze remains unknown, but it was massive. It took out not just the substation, but the backup system as well. Heathrow wasn't the only one dependent on this power source. Around 5,000 homes nearby were connected to the same system. They too were without power until this afternoon. For now, authorities don't suspect any foul play.
I'm entirely, and my team, and we're all here on site, are entirely focused on getting supplies back as soon as we physically possibly can. I don't want to mismanage any expectations, so I won't give a firmer timeline, but we are really, really focused and have options that are being actively worked on as I speak to you now.
But the disruption has sent ripples across global aviation. Around 80 airlines operate out of Heathrow. The disruption has impacted thousands of flyers. Multiple flights have been cancelled. Over 1,300 flights were impacted just today. Nearly 37 flights from India alone have been disrupted. Incoming flights have been diverted to other nearby airports. Airlines have asked passengers to check the status of their flights before they leave their homes. But across different airports of Europe, many passengers have been left stranded.
But
as soon as possible.
But if we don't get one today, should we assume that we'll get one tomorrow?
Tomorrow, after tomorrow.
So you don't know?
Because
What we book the hotel for when we go right now? Like we book it for one night and just wait for their email?
You can do.
And if we don't get communication, then what?
Only by email or message.
Okay.
So they might text.
It's a stressful time for thousands of passengers because no one can say for sure when the Heathrow would start operating again. So what can you do as a passenger if your flight has been disrupted? Make sure you check the airline's website. Most of them are rebooking flights free of charge. If you can't get one, you're entitled to a refund or compensation. Stranded passengers are eligible for accommodation and food as well as reimbursements for transportation. But some passengers might not have these protections. This includes those flying from outside Europe or using non-British or non-European airlines. If you're planning a trip to Europe and haven't booked yet, it's best to delay your plans because now may not be the ideal time to fly.
Do you think that Ukraine is at its weakest position?
This war is not about Ukraine.
Do you believe that your president was insulted? Yes or no question. Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.
Diplomacy will work?
Yes,
Do you
it
think
will.
Russia will give up the territory if there is no ceasefire? Do you propose to keep fighting?
We are ready to resist.
Do you think there will be peace?
Many countries gave us 3 days.
President Trump said you don't have any cards.
We do not have another choice.
How do you keep fighting?
You are asking me once again the same question.
Because you've not answered my question.
We have enough capacities to keep fighting.
Good afternoon, Prime Minister Lakshman.
Good afternoon.
Making headlines in India well before you landed here. New Delhi has raised concerns in the recent past vis-a-vis the Khalistani separatists that operate in New Zealand. How do you propose to address these concerns?
In our democracy, we believe in the freedom of speech.
Organizations like the Al-Qaeda or ISIS were to hold a referendum in New Zealand, something related to one of your Western partners. Would you say the same?
We have very well-defined laws in our democracy.
No specific conversation on Khalistan on this visit.
It was raised with me. I also raised back our position.
Are you willing to be open to these concerns from New Delhi?
As I keep coming back to you to say, we have strong laws in our system.